Alrighty. Class.
Yes.
Ooh, good job. All right. So it says example 2. I guess I forgot this one. Determine the sine of trigonometric function of the angle in standard position with a given measure of negative 200 degrees. Now, think about it carefully. How do I get a negative angle? I think we talked about this in the first section. Okay. So, going this way is positive, right? And going this way is negative. Why did I do all that? I could. Why would I? Negative goes backwards.
Yeah, positive goes forward.
Do you know what forward is?
Yeah.
Counterclockwise. Forward is counterclockwise. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
But backwards is clockwise.
Why did you do all that?
Why not? Because we extra. Anyway, they thought of this math before the clocks were invented.
Oh.
That's why. Actually, I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah,
I'm just making that up. Clocks are really old. Anyway, all right, so right here, so 200 degrees. So if I go from here all the way to up here, that would be negative how much? 180, right?
So you gotta go a little bit more.
Little bit more. So I need to go up a little bit more. So that's going to be negative 200 to right here, right?
Yeah.
So what quadrant is that going to leave me in?
The second one. Quadrant 2.
All right, so that's going to be quadrant 2. So now what do we know about quadrant 2?
Sine and
Sine is going to be what?
positive, so it's cosecant.
What does sine represent?
Sine is
Y over r. And in quadrant 2, my y value is
positive.
positive. So let's look. So negative x and positive y. I'm on tech support with Pearson right now. So they told me something I didn't want to hear. So that's weird. So now I have to delete it from my video that I have up here. That's super weird, right? There. Anyway. All right. Awkwardness. So sine is going to be y over r, so that's going to be positive, right?
Yeah.
Cosine is
Negative, I think.
y. Why do you think it's that?
Because
cosine is x over r, right? X over r. My x value is negative. The r value is always positive, so it's negative. What about tangent? What does tangent represent? Over y over x, and I have a positive and negative. So that's going to be negative. Let's talk about the reciprocal identity. So CSC. So that's cosecant. That's r over y. R over y.
that's positive.
Positive. Very good. And secant. What is secant? R over x. Secant is r over x. So that's going to be a negative. And last one would be cotangent. Is going to be. So now, can anyone tell me something about these? What do we know about the functions and their reciprocals? Functions and their reciprocals. Let's pick out the functions. So this and the reciprocal is right here. Huh? Somebody, come on now. Use that noodle. It's not just for looking at TikToks.
What was the question again?
See, that's what happened. Short-term memory loss. Too much TikTok.
I don't have to go to my phone.
Instagram.
Fair enough.
Okay, Snapchat. All that other garbage.
I use Snapchat.
Okay.
What was the question?
What do you know? The function and its reciprocal. What do you know about it?
The function.
The function and its reciprocal.
Oh, they're like just opposite of each other, no? They're like reverses almost. So one is like x over y, the other one's gonna be y over x.
The function and its reciprocal. I heard it. It's the same, isn't it? So the function and the reciprocal should always be the same, right? They should always be the same. That should help you out, because do you really have to, you don't have to do this more than 3 times, except for, hey look, it's there. You just have to write it down. Alright, identify the quadrant or possible quadrants to any angle theta that satisfies the given condition. Alright, so I'm going to have my quadrant right here in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Now, we know in quadrant 1, that's going to be a positive and a positive, right? X and Y are both positive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Quadrant 2, it's going to be a negative,
Negative x over y.
negative,
X
and a
y.
positive, right? Right? I'm putting it in order, X and Y. And so quadrant 3, it is negative and a negative. And quadrant 4 is a positive and a negative. Alright, let's take a look. We want to identify quadrant or possible quadrants that are going to satisfy these conditions. Start off with, what does this right here say?
Sine theta is greater than 0.
Sine theta, right, is greater than 0, right? Yes? Okay. It's greater than 0. What types of numbers are greater than 0? Positive numbers, right? Okay. So, sine is going to be y over r, right? And the r value is always positive, so all I have to do is, where's the y value is going to be positive at? In what quadrant? 1 and 2, right? In quadrant 1, sine is going to be positive. So quadrant 1, sine is positive. And quadrant 2. Yes? Yes? Hopefully? Now, tangent. The next part says tangent theta is less than 0. What type of numbers are less than 0? Say it. Negative numbers, right? So I gotta find, where is tangent going to be less than 0? Where is tangent going to be negative?
Quadrant 2, quadrant 3. Yeah.
Quadrant 2 and quadrant 3?
Quadrant 2, quadrant 4. All of them except for 1.
What does tangent represent? Say the whole thing. Y over x, right? Y over x. Tangent is y over x. So, let's see. What happens if both of them, y and x, are positive? What would you get? A positive. What would happen if I get y and x to both be negative? Because 2 negatives will make a, there we go, 2 negatives will make a positive. So that means that in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3, tangent has to be positive. Quadrant 2, I have an x and a y, so that's going to be the positive and a negative. So what is that going to give me? A negative. So in quadrant 2, tangent is negative. about quadrant 4?
That's gonna be negative.
Negative and a positive, so that's also going to be a negative, isn't it? There we go. Now, what quadrants satisfy all those conditions?
Actually, yeah. It's gonna be
Which one satisfies both conditions?
2.
So quadrant 2. That's all it's asking for. So by listing it out first, I know that quadrant 2 is my answer. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go through, do the next thing. So reading question B, I want you guys to do question B right now. Do it the same way I just did it here. Because I need to know the X, Y's, and R's before I can do this. The French toast? What you doing? Why you doing this? You're supposed to be doing that.
Doing it right now.
Why you doing it? You didn't write it down. You
Oh,
didn't write that
this?
down. You didn't write it down.
Oh, I was just listening to you. I got it already now.
Alrighty, let's take a look. Because I know no one's playing with their phone right now, right? No one has earbuds in. Even Denny would not do that to me. Alright, cosine less than 0. So where is cosine going to be negative at?
Cosine is negative.
In what quadrant?
Quadrants 2, 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, secant. What is secant?
Seeking.
R over X. R over X.
It's gonna be quadrant 2.
Okay. Is it
It's gonna be quadrant.
is it secant the reciprocal of cosine? So what did I say on the last slide about the reciprocal? They should be the same, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
So if cosine is negative in quadrant 2 and 3, secant's going to be negative in,
Quadrant 2 and 3.
very go, 2 and 3. So my answer is going to be
That.
both. Two and 3. All right, how many examples do I have today?
There's like a lot left.
There's a lot left?
Yeah, there's.
How many-
What is this?
How much is a lot?
Example 4, 5, like 3 5s for no reason. And then 6, 7.
Okay, so yeah,
Eight,
all right,
or
how about
seven
this?
left.
I will will stop right here. Give you the rest of the class to work on it, and then I'll finish it in class Thursday, and then we'll have the rest of the time to work on homework, right? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do that. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button, and buy stuff from my merch store, which is awesome.